No, it was just learning Urdu language, which is a Arabic word, Arabic alphabet, and plus mathematics with it. That's all in the primary classes. Now it's Pawar, it's a village near Kuradi. Pawar, about 1 mile on the other side. And after partition of India, which was 15th of August 1947, the school moved to the next village, Abadan, and I completed 4 years of my primary school there, and then I went to Lambda, started the education from 5th class.
So you did your school, you went to school before partition and after partition?
I went before partition, was only for 2 years.
That was in that Pawar.
Pawar, yes, it's a village nearby.
So then that was when, so the language they used to teach you was Urdu and Punjabi?
No, not Punjabi, Urdu only.
Why not Punjabi?
Because at that time Urdu was the medium of instruction of education, So there were no questions for Punjabi and Hindi. It started...
In Punjab, in all the schools were taught in Urdu?
Urdu, yeah.
Before the partition?
Partition of India, all Urdu.
And
then I went to 5th class in Lambda, and then I stayed there for 6 years. We were still doing Urdu, and then we started learning English also, as a second language. And it continued up to 2 to 3 years that Urdu continued our medium of instruction, and then it was switched to Hindi and Punjabi. Some boys took Hindi and the others took Punjabi.
So how old were you when the partition happened?
It was about, I think 11 years.
So what do you remember about that time? Kind of things that happened, that you saw happened?
Where?
At that time of partition, what are your memories of what happened at that time?
The main memory of that is that Hindu, Muslims and Sikhs, they all turned into enemies, and they started killing each other here and there in the city. They put the fire to the shops, offices, burned them down, and a lot of bloodshed, It was nearly in all of India.
So how long did this carry on for, all this violence?
Violence continued for about 6 months, and or rather 9 months, and then it was declared that the Muslims, they have to go to Pakistan, and Indian Sikhs, Hindus, they remain in India.
So in the time when this was happening, there was all this violence. What did people do? Did they stay in their houses? They didn't go about their business, or what happened?
They were just scared from each other. Hindus, Muslims and Sikhs. In the villages mostly there were Sikhs, very few Hindus, and there were many villages they were of the Muslims. And they at daytime, at night, it was scared that the Muslims are coming to attack, and the Muslims used to say the Sikhs are coming to attack our village. That sort of thing continued for 6 months. After that, it was declared by the British that we free India, and the country has been divided into two, India and Pakistan. Most of the Muslims from Panjab, they went to Pakistan, and many of the Sikhs and Hindus, they came to Punjab or to India from Pakistan territory,
Yeah, but so what was your daily routine though? So at that time, did you stop going to school, or you carried on going to school? Did people carry on normal life, or there was this? What happened? In
No,
those 6 months?
it was not a normal life. That in the village we used to go power. They were threatening us, the young ones even, who were our class fellows, that we are going to kill the Sikhs and this and that. Then the teacher was from our village, Kurali. He decided now to close down the school, and we remained at home.
So you stayed in the village.
Yeah.
So all the villages, there wasn't much. People didn't move between villages or too much movement.
Not much. They were scared, terrified from each other. And one day it so happened, there was some, washermen, their daughter was married in Jalandhar, or the in-law or the son-in-law was in the army. One day he brought some army lorries and guns and ammunition, came to the village, and he said, I'm going to take this my in-laws to Jalandhar or to some safe place, The people resisted it, objected to it. They said, no, they are very much safe, and we have been living here centuries together. They are very safe, nothing to worry. And one of the soldiers from the army, he was on holidays in Kuradi. He caught the gun. He said, you are not allowed to bring this gun into civil life, And then there was a dispute. The army ran away with the lorries, and two of the son-in-law and one Baloch soldier, they were caught and they locked them up in the Gurdwara in Kurali. That's where it happened. And in the evening, that army came back from all sides of the village. They started guns, bullets, and bombardment, light bombardment, to the village Kuradi. But we people living in Kuradi, we have all ran away to Karasanga nearby. We stayed there for 2 nights, and then we went to our mammas. They were at Madhuchanda. We remained there for a couple of months, and it was the same. The people were saying at midnight that the Muslims are coming to attack us, and the Muslims were saying Sikhs and Hindus, they are coming to kill us, they are going to attack us. And when after 15th of August, when it was declared India and Pakistan divided into 2 countries, and the English have given freedom to India and Pakistan together, and at the same time, then we came to Kurali, from Madhuchanda to Kurali, about 10 miles, and on the way we were seeing people were looting the Muslim houses, picking up their bits and pieces, whatever they could catch, and boots, everywhere. They were looting the villages, Sikhs particularly, and Hindus as well, and we came back to Kurali.
And then
but the Muslim army, which went away at that time after the incident, came back at night, and they started bombarding, firing from all sides of Kuradi. But the people there, they were very clever. They were simple but clever. They dig depressions, deep depressions, that lorries cannot come to the village, all around. And that's why they fired.
Army was mainly Muslim or Hindu or mixed?
It was a Muslim.
Mainly Muslim.
Very Muslim.
Why? There must have been Hindus and Sikhs as well, or there wasn't?
No Sikh, no Hindu in the army. They were all Muslim. because it was a Muslim, Hindu and Sikhs tension, So.
But who was at the time of partition? Who actually were the rulers of Punjab, the state government? Who was that then?
It was one Englishman, I can't remember.
No, this is before partition. I'm talking before.
Before partition,
there was an Englishman. Yeah.
I can't remember because I was not that much adult, I was just a kid, a small child at the time.
So, this was the British Army.
Yeah, it was the British.
But it was a British Army, but the people involved, the soldiers were mainly Muslim.
But they decided on 15th of August, they started coming to England, they are going to we free India and we are going back to England, army, everything.
So do you know personally of people, a lot of people, you said there was a lot of bloodshed, people lost their lives?
Yes.
Were there so in the village people who lost their lives?
Not in our village. Only those when the son-in-law of the family living in Koradi and one soldier, the people from the nearby villages all flocked to Koradi and they took them to Prit Nijjar, the nearby village, and slaughtered them, chop off their necks, killed them.
Why?
They said that he brought danger to the village, brought the army and the ammunition and guns,
Because he was son-in-law of someone in the army?
Yeah, that's why. I remember that
he was Muslim?
Muslim.
He was Muslim?
Yeah. The lady was washerman, a girl, daughter, she was appealing to the people, they said, don't kill my husband, don't kill my husband. But the people, the mob, killed them.
From the nearby villages?
Yes, towards Nijjar, after the canal, they killed them. There are so many people from the villages, Koraka, Sangha and some, they came together with some guns and all that to protect Koradi.
And they were the ones who were saying to the army, go away?
Yeah, that's right.
So what happened to that lady?
The lady then... they remained in the village, but one day people from our village, they were coming from Jalandhar, and that Muslim boy went to his farm, little farm there. He was cutting the grass, and those two people of my village, they killed that Muslim boy. that Muslim boy came to our house and told Bhabhi, I'm a Sikh now, I'm wearing a bangle and I put a kacha and I'm Sikh now, I have got no danger now. But next day he was slaughtered, he was murdered. Then the people, Muslim people, not many, they all decided to go to Pakistan and they went to, where we bought our house, Khorla Kingra. There was a camp, people getting together and then going Pakistan, At the same time, a very great tragedy happened near our village, near Jalandhar, Khojewari. A train was coming from Sultanpur Loti, Guru Nanak's Gurdwara, all Muslim in the train. When they came at Khojewari, train was stopped and all these Sikhs, they attacked the train and killed all of the train, slaughtered children and girls, ladies, slaughtered them, killed them. And outside Jalandhar. It comes sometimes on the telly here, Khojewari. It was a tragedy. Bloodshed.
That boy who said was killed in your village.
Yeah.
Who was he though? He was related to that son-in-law. He was
the son-in-law married to in our Kurai village, and there was a washerman's daughter who was married to him. He said, I want to take this family to a safer place, maybe Jalandhar, Kent.
So what happened to his wife then?
And they, went to Khorla Kingra near our house. Bihar, and from there they went to Pakistan. Only one person came in 1955.
So she went to Pakistan, but her husband was murdered.
All of the, when the one boy of the Muslim family was killed by our people, or village people, 2 people. And then they decided, they said, we are not going to Pakistan. But when Chirag was killed, slaughtered, and then they decided we are going to Pakistan, then we said them bye-bye. And they went to Khurla Kingra, near Bihar, and from there they went to Pakistan. Only one, many of them, they went to Lahore, in Pakistan, Lahore. And only one boy, Latif, he came back in 1955. I was in matric at that time. He said I was feeling a great of love for my village, for my place, and nobody came after that,
And then after partition, when actually partition happened, then so all this movement happened over 6-9 months. 9 months.
My movement was only for, tension was already there, like something 9 months, 1 year, but movement was 4 to 3 months only, when was very bad tension, and there was bloodshed.
Even on the journey, on the journeys, people got.
Yeah, when the people went to Pakistan, they couldn't carry everything, from their houses. They left many things. People looted the villages.
And how did they get there? What was the transport they used to go to?
They, from there, wherever they were, we have camps. From camps go by train and by transport or by buses, go to the railway station, Jalandhar, and then Lahore was only 80 miles from Jalandhar.
So train, mainly it was train.
Yeah, but many of them were killed by the Muslim Hindus, and at the same time, where I used to go, Power Village, all those boys and gentlemen and farmers, they went to Terma on the bridges, river bridge, Beas, and there were a lot of flood came and they carried away carts and the buffaloes and oxes and the children, and the ration was carried away by the floods, heavy floods. Because of those people, who used to be with me on Heath Road, he was in my class, and his other brother was studying in Lambda, and they all and that's all.
And then when they have pictures of people. There's some pictures I've seen. Some people walking this way and some people walking this way. So what was that then? Was that just near the border? People walked across.
Crossing, but particularly Baga border. Baga was the main border.
But it was not that. So it's not like the main transportation was train.
Yeah, coming from there, crossing through the border, carts and on foot also, with cows and buffaloes, and they crossing from Panjab to Pakistan, from Pakistan to Panjab.
And then how long did it take for life to become normal again, like normal movement, normal activity, agriculture and shopping?
After few months. Then Prime Minister Mahatma Gandhi did not become a leader. He remained a leader only, but Pandit Nehru, he became the first Prime Minister of India, and Jinnah, who created the Pakistan, he wanted to separate from India, he was the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Jinnah. And Pandit Nehru, he was the first Prime Minister of India.
So in your village there was, were there many Muslims who left then?
No, I think there should be about 10-15 families, houses. And then after the boy Chirag was killed, then they were scared and they said, oh no, then we should go to Pakistan, and decided to go to Pakistan.
And this was in the villages. What actually happened in the city itself? Partition chaldi si. Shahar de vich ki hunda si with all the people living so close together.
Same bloodshed, killing, fighting, and putting the houses, shops on fire.
So how did people go about their normal business? So like so if they have to go and buy some vegetables or buy some milk or something, how did they do that if there was all that atmosphere?
No, those continued, but fear was still there, and nobody felt it is safe,
After dark?
After dark, daytime even, there were escape from the Muslims, there were escape from the Sikhs, escape from the Hindus, because there were two communities, Sikhs and Hindus, and Muslims single, So there was a lot of fear that they can kill us, or fear was there.
People didn't trust the army? They didn't trust the army?
The army wasn't in villages,
No, in the city. But but the army was keeping order, or they weren't keeping order?
To be honest, I haven't got much vision of this one, because I never went to the Jalandhar Kent, nor did I go to Jalandhar city, But I heard from the papers, people some read the papers, that so many people have been killed, so many people have been lying in the canal, slaughtered or killed, and in the fire, there are so many places were put on fire by mobs, Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs.